almost that. Today on the SHOKY Quickie, we're going to be taking a look at something new that I've been chasing for a while. Found completely randomly while I was hunting for other toys at Target. Now, I'd already given up on ever finding this particular figure because it was already hard to come by in the first time it was released. It was released again with a different accessory. It's still super hard to find, and the fact that it's a McFarlane toy makes it also still difficult to find. And it is the Spawn from Mortal Kombat. I'm a giant Spawn fan, always have been. It's basically the first comic book I ever read was Spawn. I still have a big collection of Spawn comics over yonder. And this is the version, well, he's from the video game, so therefore not super comic booky. I can still live with it. So there he is in his plastic prison. He does come with an axe, which I guess he uses in the game. I'm not keen on the accessory. I could honestly care less. Anthony's Customs did one that looks like the version from Soul Calibur, which looks fantastic, but I missed the pre-sale. So, oh well. Now, if he makes a different head for it, I might be down for that, because I'm not really keen on this head. And the fact that it's a McFarlane property character, it seems strange that he doesn't seem to be able to do McFarlane or Spawn well, and it's a realistic looking one, which makes it really strange. You know, I think he looks better than the old school Spawn movie, but it is what it is. So I have yet to see one of these in hand. Like sometimes, you know, I get friends who can, you know, let me look at something, you know, that they have, and I'd be like, ooh. But this one I have not seen. Well, they really make sure you can't steal it. Oh, by the way, it's ages 14 plus. It's not a toy. So I was wrong. It's not a toy. It's a figure. Well, with McFarlane, I generally register things as moving statues. They're not really figures. So this one, in theory, is very posable. Oh, look at that. Look, he's got a Mortal Kombat background and comes with his own stand. Cool. It's probably crap, but, you know, I'll pull it out of there here in a second. So there we go. It's pretty cool. Alright, so we'll flip the camera around and take a look at him as we get him out of his box. Cool? Is that cool with you guys? No? Well, too bad. Alright, so here we have good old Spawny in his plastic prison. Oh, I just realized I'm going to need nippers to get him out of there. Oh, hey, don't knock that over. Okay, so let's see here. Come to back. Nip this in the bud. Excuse me. That was probably really loud. I apologize. And this cape is hefty. I got used to figures that are just kind of crammed into thing. I kind of forgot what it's like to have to free them, like, physically. Oh, here we go. We got the legs. Legs are still bound. Okay, I'll give McFarlane credit. They at least don't want you to be able to steal the figure easily. For anybody who does that. Jerks. Okay. Yeah, there. Also, being careful because ooh, careful, careful. Top of his head was stuck. Okay. Wow. So if you guys wonder why I do that on camera, it's so that you can see what you might have to struggle with. Alright, so this is my first time actually getting it out of the package and looking at it, and okay, this is different. I haven't bought a real McFarlane figure in a while, and it wasn't even really a figure, so to speak. So, oh, interesting. So, let's take a look at this head sculpt right quick. Hold on, I need a little bit more light than I've got. So, definitely gave him a lot of texture, like a very, like, veiny or grainy, or however you want to describe that, sculpted texture. The head sculpt is very reminiscent of the movie. But once again, they're going for a very realistic thing here. Those eyes are like super glowing. Like those really stand out regardless of what direction you're looking. So give him credit. That looks awesome. The shading around the eyes looks pretty good. I don't know what kind of... feels like a ball joint with a disc hinge for a neck. Let's see, can I... Maybe it's just all ball joint. I don't know. But he does have his cape going on here. You can see lots of weathering as well. Wonder if I should pull back a little bit here. Did I? Oh. No wonder it's so dark. I was missing a light. My bad. So we got, like I said, the texture for that. We got some silver paint with a wash there for the skull and chains on the chest. It's pretty good. You get the M or V or whatever that technically is. I always thought it was an M. Like, it's Malboja. Okay, so let's just talk about it. The cape is interesting. It's multi-layered here, folded over, all washed over, though I feel like it should be a little darker up in there. It feels old and gross, and it is all this plastic. There's your licensing stuff. It's glued in place, so you would have to really try to get it off of there. Too bad it's not posable. I know people like to get cloth capes, and I know that the like premium Spawn figure is gonna have like a posable cloth cape. He does have a butterfly, though. It is very sticky. It only seems to want to go backwards and never really wants to come back forward again. So that kind of sucks. Disc hinge, shoulders that are loose enough. Biceps swiveled here. Spiky armband. That's okay. Weathering looks like I did it, and that could be a compliment or an insult. Double jointed elbow, get you only barely more than that. Definitely some paint spillage here, painting the spikes. Also a wash. I don't know if that's a hair or just a shred of plastic. Could be one or the other. It's not bad. I wish there was a rotation joint there. That's a perfect spot to have one. And one thing that sucks here, they didn't really weather the knuckle duster, kind of. So that's a totally different red than the molded because it's painted over the gray molded hand. We do have a wrist hinge here. Trying to get it to where I can use it. Now that's basically useless. Even though it's there, that's a hinge, it does not work. And we have a different gauntlet on this arm because this is like the Spawn 2. I wouldn't mind that update a Spawn 1 using this kind of mold. So for those who don't know, after he got his ass handed to him a few times, and then he came back, he had this different form with the big kind of club foot, the asymmetrical lines, things like that. So I like the molded belt with the chains. It's pretty cool. Soft rubber to get out of the way. That's nice. The skull's good. Oh, I didn't look at the thing here. So this feels like a single ball joint there, and then a little ball joint down here. Does he rotate at the waist or only at the... Looks like he only really rotates at the torso. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's see, fingers kind of pointy. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, interesting. Universals, not ball joints. So this is like a Gundam here. Look at this. So these look like they plug into there, and then that's actually just a hinge that's ratcheted, and that can rotate up. You gotta get around that. Okay, so this is nice and soft here to kind of clearance the legs. That's actually good. It doesn't push it out. I like that. The butt, you're definitely not getting past that butt. Nope, there's no going back against that booty. Does have his tactical pockets going on here, which is pretty cool. Does he have a thigh rotation? I think he does. It's just whether or not you can really make use of it. Nope, not much at all. It's there, but you don't get anywhere with it. So that's unfortunate. It does not rotate there. He has a giant double jointed knee, which is good for kicking himself in the butt, but looks terrible. I mean, for the most part, I'm sure you're just going to leave it straight anyways. Sorry, the cape keeps getting in the way. It looks funny because this one leg looks super emaciated and the other one looks ridiculous, but that's just the way that is molded. And then, of course, you got the ankle wraps here, spike thing here. Same problem with this painted over the gray. Looks different than the thing that's actually molded in red. Really ugly exposed ankle joint. I would have wrapped that. I don't like that. He does get a toe hinge, which is cool, except that looks ridiculous. at that point, I should lower the camera, probably make my life easier. I'm having to hold him up. And yeah, there's no... I guess there's ankle rocker. Just not great. And then this foot is kind of stuck in the doghouse over here, so to speak. So while it has the same articulation, you're not getting anywhere with it. Tree trunk of an armored leg. It's interesting. Let's see if I can get him to stand. I have not tried this yet. Maybe. He does look like he's kind of crouching. Instead of standing tall. Come on, Al. Come on, Al. He's hunching for sure. See, the weird thing is I want the thigh to go up inside like that. Use that thigh cut a little. He's still hunching. Spawn stands tall, damn it. Get the arms back just a little bit. The cape being so heavy is definitely going to be a hindrance. And look at it. Okay, so that is actually the true sculpt of that leg. So to get that back to where it's useful, you have to have the leg like that. Wow. Okay, so let's bend the knee back a little bit, because one thing I don't want to do is mess up this end. The top seems to be the part you really want to bend to get the legs to function, so that's fine. Now, he does come with a Mortal Kombat stand. I assume that all of the Mortal Kombat figures come with it. I'll give him credit. It's standing on its own. I mean, he's standing on this, not on his actual foot. But this is basically the same thing as the NECA stands. So I'm going to use it, to be totally honest, make his life a little bit easier. You're not going to get a huge dynamic range of motion, but if nothing else, it'll keep that one foot planted, especially on the slick surface that is my review set. So let's look at his accessory, this interesting axe. Personally, I think this is a little bit of a lame design, but it really does fit with Mortal Kombat. That green is so ridiculous, though. I mean, that looks like it's glowing. Like, that is super phosphorescent. I don't know... Where's my black light? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Definitely it's phosphorescent paint, because look at his eyes glow. Oh, my God. Look at that. That is hard to look at. Hold on. Let's... Look at that. So yeah, he definitely used some good phosphorescent paint. So it's not like it glows in the dark, it's just super reactive. Ooh, got a little bit of spillage there. A little bird poop off to the side, as it were. Turn the lights back on. Ah, my eyeballs. So that's awesome. I need to get a hold of some of that paint. The molding is fine. It just is what it is. I'm just not a fan. I don't think it looks good, in my opinion. I'm used to the giant one that he has from Soul Calibur. I think that looks better because it's basically his face on the axe blades, not like this. Let's see, can I even get this in his hand? Like, that is a tree trunk of a handle. The wrap is cool, the molding is nice. I'm just not keen on it. So, when they released this figure the first time, he came with a pretty cool looking sword. Which, you know, in Mortal Kombat, they started giving you weapons options. I guess, can I utilize that double-jointed oboe for anything? Not really, but this looks more like a throwing axe, if we're honest. It's cool, but I'm not a big fan. I'll keep it on him, but it's not that good, in my opinion. I'm trying to utilize his ankle to get him to stand up straighter. So that's fine. Let's see, who do we compare him to? Let's compare him to Heavy Mando. You can see he's a much bigger figure. McFarlane figures are in the 7-inch range to the 6. Similar scale, but then again, Spawn is also really big. Spawn is actually really big and weighs a lot because Necro Flesh weighs a lot, for those who don't know. I almost wish the cape was like dragging. Let me get one more thing here. And I'll bring in the only other Spawn figure that I have currently in my collection. I have one that's not technically in my collection yet, so he's a little dusty, not gonna lie. So that's Commando Spawn. And, you know, this one was meant to be more of a slightly movable statue than an actual figure. Hard enough to dust something that's spiky. And, yeah, he did actually fall a bit. But you can see it's essentially the same. Now, I wonder if I can actually give this Spawn any of the guns. That'd be interesting. Hold on. Let's see. Let's pull the pistol out at the very least. I mean, it's still a McFarlane figure. It's not a gun holding hand, but let's see if I can utilize it. Almost. Oh yeah, you can hold that, and it still scales. So that's kind of cool. I'll keep that in mind. Once again, this is also, you know, it's a slightly different scale, but it would work. Even this gun would look pretty good. It doesn't have trigger hands, like I said, but you know, I'll keep it in there. I think it looks pretty good as an option. He does look evil. The sculpt is neat, but I want a comic book accurate head. That's my only thing. And you know, the belt is what it is, but I think it could be slightly different, you know? Nothing too crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to get him to stand. He keeps wanting to fall. It's kind of the problem with having him stuck in a perpetual pose, but giving him movable joints. Doesn't make much sense, but as a figure, it looks good. The biggest problem with this one is distribution, being able to find it. It was a Target exclusive, and if you don't catch it, you know, people are scalping them right and left. Oh, it would be nice to be able to actually get his arm down. Wait, the arm can move. So wait, hold on, the butterfly joint is actually a joint in and of itself, as it can rock up and down. That's interesting. I don't know if it's a good thing, but it's interesting. I would like to get that Anthony's Customs axe. So maybe I'll see what I can do. I doubt I'll be able to get one, but it'd be cool. He does look nice. That does function fairly well. Little bit of limitation due to the weird molding of the fact that the character looks the way he does. I like that I can at least make use of one of his guns from a different spawn. I do wish it wasn't the Mortal Kombat version. I do wish it was more of a comic book representation, but if I wanted to do that, I would just buy that incredibly expensive one that you'd have to back on Kickstarter and stuff like that, which was pretty cool. I just did not do it. So I'll take this representation any day. So if you can find it, get it. If you can get the sword for it, cool. If not, I'm sure there's people out there on Thingiverse or custom makers who are making different weapons. You know, if you don't want the axe, which I'm not a fan of this axe. The sword would have been neat, but I don't need that either. I'm okay with him not having weapons in general other than guns or some kind of necro power. So give him like a cool green translucent thing to hold. I'd be down for that. So, but guys, give me a big old thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite Spawn figure is. And actually, I do have another one to look at. It actually goes more along lines with the other guy over here. I just haven't bothered. But I'll see you guys next time. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.